Welcome to Firewood, fella. As you saw in the opening clip, and you can see it behind me, we're full. So a little quick update here and a disclaimer. This video is going to be jumped ahead and be released in the beginning of May. A lot of the videos after this one will be showing how I got some of this wood and stuff like that. So things will be a little out of order here just because this video is going to be jumped ahead to kind of give you guys a Woodyard update and another little update on a possible expansion here. So my Woodyard is in a tree line at edge of my parents' property, and between all the racks that we have all the way to here, can hold 23 full cords. 3.5 racks that are empty right now. One of them I left empty on purpose because I had some really wet oak, fresh cut oak, that I didn't want to put it tight together 3 wide, so I left a space in the middle of it just so it could dry. So I can't even fill that rack yet until I sell the oak that is on both, at least on one side of it. Then I can start filling it up again. 1.5 racks I can get access to fill in some more oak, and the other rack is at the very other end, and that one I have to sell the rack next to it so I can fill them both up, because I can't get access to that back side because it's by the cherry tree and everything else over there. So, but a little bit of the Woodyard here is all this is my oak, and right behind you guys is where the oak has been sitting all winter long from Chris that we processed back in October. Here's the pile of oak that Chris and I did back in October, and you can see here we got a whole other row added on. Another 3 full cords we'll be able to put in here. So this is going to be really nice. So now I'm up to 26 full cords I can hold. So what I've been doing is pulling the wood from the top and the sides. And this stuff is very, very dry, just sitting in a pile. The only thing that's really wet is all the stuff on the ground, which is to be expected. So this wood I started stacking here the other day when I was running out of daylight, and just got some of it done here. So over the next couple weeks, we're going to be slowly filling up this set of racks here, and then whatever we have left that's open, whatever we have open racks, there's all the rest of the oak rounds over here that we're going to split and stack into these racks. So the kind of the way the wood yard laid out is right where this is here gets the most sun for the longest part of the day until the afternoon because of the way the tree cover is over here. So I kind of keep my harder woods, my oaks and stuff like that on this side of the wood yard, just because I want them to get as much sun as possible so they can dry out as much as possible. So starting right here going this way is all oak. And as it sits right now, I have 10 full cords of oak. Granted, I don't know if I'll be able to sell all of it this year, just because the stuff on the very far end is stuff I just split here back in March. So I don't know if that's going to be dry yet, but with all the wood that's in the pile and it gets stacked, I'm hoping that stuff should be all dry. All the stuff that was on the ground is going to be set on top, so it gets the most sun, the most wind. Hopefully it will dry out by the time this fall comes. And then this rack here is the rack that I can get wood on both sides of. And the center rack is some oak that we got from the processor. And then we're going to probably, I don't know if we're going to haul the rest of the oak from that over there and haul it over here to stack it over here. We might possibly do that. Or we might just add some fresh cut into it and just hold it into next year. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet there. As we've been expanding the wood yard and adding pallets down, I've been taking them. So we decided that we're going to put an IBC tote here like we did over there and keep these full of oak from the processor of all the offcuts. That way then I can have a spot to keep them, and it keeps the poles from bending over, because when I was buying poles, when we first started out, I was buying 5.5 footers. Well, I've come to notice that the 5.5 footers on the end over time, especially in the spring and the thaw cycle that we get here in Wisconsin, these poles tend to like to lean and they'll start falling over. So either I got to put them in an angle, or my solution is, as I've been expanding, I've been buying 6 footers now. And as I pull out the 5.5 footers, I've been putting those in the middle and then putting the 6 footers on the end to support the weight. And then having the IBC totes here on the end will kind of help support the weight a little bit as well and keep them from falling over. So we got a bunch of chunks here of oak that will get split and tossed into this bin here. And then we got a full tote of oak here as well. That this is all stuff that came from over here as we've been stacking and getting this stuff taken care of. We've been tossing it into this IBC tote here. On this side is all oak, and there's only one face cord of oak left, and that's right over here. And the reason why that is that this rack right here was oak last week. I ended up selling a face cord of oak last week, and I filled it right back up the very next day with ash. This is all the ash that I've been getting from my buddy in the next town over, of all the free ash that he's been giving me. And we've been hard working at it over there, depending on when he's there, the weather. We had 8 inches of rain here in Wisconsin back in April. So we had a bunch of snow at the end of March, and then we had a ton of rain, and everything flooded. Everything's been wet. It's been very difficult to get over there without ripping up his yard too bad. And this weekend is Mother's Day weekend, and I still have wood over there that I have to get out here this weekend. So we're not bringing the splitter over there like we have been. We're just going to go ahead and take the logs and bring them back here, and I'll get to them when I get to them. Both of these rows are all ash, except for the very end of that second row and the one face cord of oak in this row. And then we got even more ash further down in the yard. What I typically like to try to do, if I can, is to try and keep one species all in one row, just because it makes it a lot easier to know, okay, this is oak, this is ash, this is cherry, etc. Just because it just makes it a lot easier to figure out. I do have a Google sheet that I kind of put everything in to kind of keep track of everything, but sometimes I'm forgetting to put something down when I stack some wood in there, or I sell some and forgot to remove it type thing. I mean, it happens. I'm so busy with doing other things. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on all at one time. So when I get a chance to come out here, the last thing I'm thinking about is putting the wood in the spreadsheet. I'm just trying to get as much done as I can. And then I end up kicking myself because I got to go walk around here and figure out, make sure everything's correct. So just between these two rows here, we got 3 full cords of ash. So as we've moved down in the wood yard here, this whole row is all cherry. So I got 4 face cords of cherry that's got bark on it, and then I got 4 face cords of cherry that's got no bark on it. And the reason why that is because I'm trying to sell a more premium product for bundles of cherry wood here. So on the very end here, on both sides of me here, is cherry with no bark on it, and it is these first front 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And over here, we got a little something different that I ended up doing a job here this past weekend, and that is a bunch of locusts. And you might be able to see the pile behind me here as well. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera, but this rack right here is about to come down. And good thing this is leaving in 2 days. So over here is typically all my camping wood, and I keep it over here where it's shaded more often than not. It gets a little bit of sun right away in the morning, but by noon, with all the cherry and the box elder trees over here above us, it's all shaded by like noon. And that's why I try to keep a lot of my faster drying woods on this side of the wood yard, just because of the fact of I don't want to get mold growth on this stuff and problems. So I typically just put a lot of that stuff over here, and I do get a little bit of mold here and there, but it's nothing to be really concerned about, especially when people are just having campfires with it. So between all the ash, the maple, the mixed hardwood that I have, I got just over 7 full cords, and I've already sold the full cord already this year of this stuff. And there's more in the yard here that I got to split up yet, and it's more maple and some other stuff like that. So I'm hoping some of that stuff will be dry so I can sell it here this upcoming season yet. My goal is to sell 30 cords this year, And I got 23 full cords here in the yard. So math ain't mathin' yet. So I still got to make wood yet to sell this year. So I'm hoping I can get access to some more ash. I also have some more ash out in Princeton. So this will be a little spoiler alert. The ash that I've gotten from my buddies so far is 6 full cords so far. And he's taking the bigger stuff too. So I can only imagine what kind of wood there is if I would have gotten all of it. What's been limiting me to be able to get all that is the fact is I don't have a dump trailer, which hopefully might be changing next month if things all go according to plan. But I got to sell some wood first to make that happen. So all this is all locust, honey locust to be exact, from a tree that I cut down over the weekend for someone that I know. So I was able to take all the wood. So I got a full cord in the yard of locusts that we'll see how quickly this dries. This is going to be another video that I'm going to do about of how quickly this stuff dries, because it's the beginning of May right now and this stuff was just split within the last week. So I want to see how quickly this locust dries, if I can sell it this fall, or if it's going to be one of those things where it's going to have to sit in season all winter long into next year. But I have 2 face cords here right in the middle, and because like I've said before, I kind of like to keep everything as a whole species. So all the rounds that I'll show you here next will get split up, and this will be the row of locusts. It's not ideal because I'm going to be mostly shaded, unfortunately, but this is where I got the room right now that I can put it. So this is where it's going to go. And this is the stuff that's probably going to be leaving the first as well, because this is all the stuff that's dry. So right here is kind of my totes that I've been keeping in here in the middle. I was able to sell a couple totes here last year. That's why there's a little void there. So this stuff will all be ready to go here this fall, or even now even. But this is another tote of mixed here. We got some chunks of oak from the processor over here somehow. We got some maple, a little bit of birch from a different job I did over the weekend that I didn't record. I just wanted to kind of get it done. And this here is all the locusts all the way around here. So I'm hoping I can get 2 full cords at least with these rounds. To put it in perspective here, this pile is well over 5 feet tall. Here's some more chunks of all the stuff from the maple from the tree service, along with the bigger stuff here that needs to get cut up yet at some point. And here's more oak rounds from the processor from off cutoffs. So right here's all the maple. Here's some oak, some real bad snakes that I've missed. They were over here and I forgot to get them cut up. From all the way down here is all maple. And this is all maple, so it's kind of just a mess right now. And then all here is the cedar that I bought in order to make kindling bundles. And I ended up making a couple bundles here for somebody, and I was kind of surprised at how well this stuff was already dry. So I'm hoping I can still be able to do that here this upcoming summer. With the expansion of the wood yard, I'll have 26 full cord worth of racks. And once I get that oak stacked there and hopefully get another, for sure 1, maybe 2 to 3, that pushes me over 30 full cords in this wood yard here. And the reason why I'm saying I don't really think I'll go much more than that is I already got a lot on my plate. I work full time. I do this as a side business. I also work at the brewery part-time, which I don't know how much longer I'll be doing that because they're only open Friday and Saturdays. So it already kind of impedes what I can be doing over the weekend for firewood production, because that's where a lot of my time goes on the weekends, is to this. And then also doing YouTube. So I edit videos in the evenings when it's raining out. So I work pretty much almost every single day doing something, whether it's for work, because I work full time, doing this, doing YouTube, doing the brewery thing. There's just a lot going on. And to put it in perspective, this maple, like I said, has been sitting here for a year. I cut this down a year ago this upcoming weekend. That's how long this has been sitting here in log form, and I still haven't gotten around to splitting it up, cutting or splitting it up yet. Then you add in the fact of all the locusts that I've gotten from tree jobs, and I got people asking to drop off wood or if I can cut down a tree for them. I'm not a tree service. I'm not insured to be a tree service. After taking down that locust tree this last weekend, you'll see that video here in the near future. But I do not like doing tree jobs, especially by myself. It's me and my father is not getting any younger. If you can believe it or not, he'll be turning 70 this year. So he's already pushing what he wants to do. He likes coming out here and helping me out with stacking and stuff like that because it gets him, keeps him moving, keeps him active. He likes doing that. But these tree jobs, it's a lot on him because he's in the ground because he doesn't like doing the lift. So I'm up in the lift, dropping limbs, and he's hauling brush away. And I don't have a ground guy. I don't want to do a tree service full time. So I will not be pursuing that aspect of things, at least right now, unless I decide to expand into this. But I don't think I'm going to. I like what I'm doing with the firewood production. And then if you've been following along on the channel, you'll see one of my property tour videos of our property over where we hunt at, and there's probably well over 100 trees in there, and people were saying about getting a logger in there or something like that. I would love to. That'd be a great idea, except it's really hilly, and my dad is also going to be turning 70. How many years is he going to be able to hunt? I'm hoping for another 10 to 15, but it's not fair for him when he's in retirement wanting to go out and hunt for us to go log it all off, and he has to deal with really crappy hunting for a long time because we don't have a bedding area for the deer to sit in and they'll just kind of pass through. So that just means I have to dedicate more time out there splitting and cutting some wood out there. This weekend I got to do some stuff and finish up that wood over at my buddy's place. But then the next couple weeks after that, I'm hoping to get out there quite a bit and be able to sell some wood and also bring some saws out there and just start hammering away at cutting. And I'm hoping that I can kind of start splitting some of the wood here as I empty the racks throughout the summer here and refill them as I empty them, get into cutting this here. And I'm hoping I'll be able to cut and sell this stuff right away. Cut it, split it in half, throw it in a trailer and haul it off to someone to sell, because that would save me a whole bunch of time without having to stack it all, because that definitely kills up a lot of my time. So hopefully you enjoyed the Woodyard update of all the full racks, the expansion, my inventory of logs I got to split yet, and kind of where I'm at with things. So Firewood fella, logging off.